Thank you so much. We're going to move on to the keynote speakers. As I indicated earlier, we're going to have three, and they're going to take about 5 minutes each to share some examples of good governance that contributed to clean air and the role of health systems in ensuring children's health. Let's begin with NINO KÜNZLI, who is the Deputy Director of the Swiss Tropical and Public Health Institute and Professor of Public Health at University Basel Medical School. And he's also an MD with 28 years of experience. He doesn't look it, but it's 28 years of research experience in environmental epidemiology, mainly focused on ambient air pollution and its cardiovascular health effects. Nino.
Well, thank you very much, Director General. It's a very big pleasure to be here again. I thought I was too provocative on Tuesday, so thank you very much to let me speak again. Tropical Institute, yeah, in Basel, we have anticipated climate change 70 years ago, so that's why we have a Tropical Institute here in Switzerland. On Tuesday, Dorota Jarosinska made it very clear that WHO publishes air quality guidelines and not regulations. It is the task of governments to adopt clean air regulations. I should have the slides.
No slides.
No slides. Where are the slides? Where are the slides? You stop the watch.
No.
They're punishing you for that.
They are censoring my slides.
So you were very provocative, I see.
I was provocative.
You were
Yeah.
provocative, so you're paying for it.
Is someone technically?
Maybe they've eliminated all the controversial ones and there are none left.
Yeah. Well, my very first slide is not so controversial. I can tell you the story, but I would appreciate if the technicians put on my slides. Anyway, so how is this organized in Switzerland? To set regulations, the Swiss government keeps a board of experts to advise about clean air strategies. I'm currently chairing that board, and for that commission, the WHO air quality guidelines have been the point of reference from the very beginning, always, in the last 30 years. Switzerland had no standard for the fine fraction of particles, the PM2.5. We only had one for PM10. So that commission that I'm chairing wanted an annual mean limit of PM2.5 as proposed by WHO. And if the pictures are coming, I can show you our Minister of the Environment, our Councillor, Doris Leuthard. The Commission proposed to her to adopt that very ambitious standard. And she responded promptly and clearly to me. Yes, Mr. Künzli, one has to set ambitious targets to make a change. I was really impressed. She understood that ambitious targets are needed to speed up the adoption of the best available technologies in engines on and off the road, in heating systems, in industries. So in June of this year, 2018, this standard was adopted formally in the Swiss law, and I tell you, without any relevant opposition. Are the pictures coming?
Sorry, Nino. We didn't have any technical problem until now, and you know there is no conference without at least one incident with the technical slides.
Here we are.
Here we are. Yes, thank
Good.
you, team.
So, because I want to continue with the words of the wonderful story we have heard yesterday from the enthusiastic mayor of Tirana. He told us the story about the owl, about the rabbit and the lion. So yes, what I have told you now, you see here, that's just the owl. It's just about strategies. So how can the rabbit become a lion? It is thanks to the people at the front in the 26 counties. They do the action. They call themselves circulaire in Switzerland. Since decades, they are responsible, well-trained experts who really implement clean air management plans. They made sure that we do now reach at all stations the PM10 goals set in our laws. And I'm sure they will also reach those more ambitious ones for PM2.5 just adopted. We have also learned over the 30 past years, and actually Eric Solheim from UNEP has mentioned it as well, air pollution is not the price to pay for economic prosperity. Economic prosperity was fantastic in Switzerland over the past 30 years, upward with more and more cars on the streets, more and more vehicle kilometers driven, but this was paralleled by a sharp reduction in traffic-related emissions, and therefore ambient concentrations, as you have seen, have gone down. The World Bank, I hope they will emphasize it in the talk that is coming, has also shown that the costs for this prevention are far, far lower than the side effects, the costs of air pollution itself. So the story is so simple, and given all these facts, one would assume that all governments put the WHO air quality guideline values into the directives to win the race for clean air. Swiss TPH has investigated in figuring out what governments have done in air quality setting, and unfortunately this was a very sobering exercise. The vast majority of governments are entirely ignorant of the WHO air quality guidelines. So the map shows where at least PM10 or PM2.5 annual mean regulations are in line with the WHO guideline values. Very few countries, probably 10. The European Commission misleads people in claiming that it is okay to keep particle concentrations 2.5 times higher than proposed by WHO. No, it is not okay. The lion on this picture is green on the map. Only green is green on that map. So what does this map tell us for today, for WHO, for the next steps? I think it's clear the WHO air quality guidelines, they are under revision now, and we are very much helping, assisting on that. It's very important to do that, but it is very important to also question us and make a reality check. Air quality guidelines that are not adopted in national policies are useless. WHO, the UN community must find ways to move governments toward the adoption of science-based clean air standards and the implementation of clean air management plans. We have seen fantastic examples this morning, like China and others, where this is happening. So these global regulatory inequities that you see on this map foster wrong incentives, and many have asked me to mention my example from Tuesday once again to the audience of this session, namely the story of unequal limit values of the sulfur content in diesel fuel. Getting rid of sulfur in the fuel is one of the most effective, cheapest, low-hanging fruit policies to drastically reduce toxic air pollution from one day to another. And this is the map I haven't shown on Tuesday of the current regulation, 2016. Okay, if a government announces that it is totally okay to sell us rabbits, they will get rabbits, probably for the price of a lion, not only in Africa, as I have shown. As assessed by the World Bank, to adopt the lion policy would cost peanuts, so it's not an economic issue, it's not an issue of poverty. You can download this fantastic report online. I have shown, so now I have shown these slides. Yes, that's what's happening. These Swiss commodity traders, they sell diesel over there in Africa with 600 times higher sulfur content. And that's just a reality, and I think we should face the realities and put these pieces together. We need globalized, science-based clean air standards, else this business model will never change. Clean countries with strict policies will continue to get cleaner, and the polluted ones will continue to get more polluted. So I think with globalized standards, the wealthy countries can start to export their incredible expertise in how to reach those standards effectively instead of exporting air pollution to poor countries. So to become a lion, science-based directives and regulations are a necessity. To finish, let me remind you, Kirk Smith has referred to the Tobacco Convention. Maybe we would need an air quality convention that must be signed and ratified by all countries in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you.